All right. Good evening and welcome to the Petaluma Community Access Board of Directors meeting for Tuesday, August 19, 2014. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Cindy Thomas.
Here.
Kathy Rivas.
Here.
Neil Fishman.
Here.
Marcia Trent. Here. Matt Pearson. Rachel Moran.
Here.
Tim Williamson.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. And there are no requests for public comment, so how many of our board of directors have their own comments tonight? Anyone? No? No comments? Announcements? Nothing? All right. We have in front of us the agenda. Everybody's had a chance to look at this. Can we, do we need any corrections or modifications here? No? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there anybody who does not approve this agenda? Excuse me. Okay. We have also the minutes of the July 15, 2014 meeting, Board of Directors meeting that you all have had a chance to look at. Are there any other corrections?
Just that we made the correction that Tim
About
suggested. The
Abstention.
yeah.
Right, and that was taken care of. I got version 2. Mine looked good.
Move approval.
Okay, second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Oh, any abstentions? I don't think you were here, were you?
I was there, wasn't I? Was at the last meeting?
No, Rachel wasn't here. Yeah. Do you want to abstain or not? Okay.
Madam
She was
Chairperson,
channeling.
All right.
this may not be in the right place to bring this up, but there is a new version of the Brown Act that requires when you don't have a unanimous vote, you have to name who was the non-unanimous people. So if we want to, in that spirit of open meeting, we want to stick with the
You mean announce or in the minutes or
in
both?
the minutes. In the minutes,
I
yeah.
think we have had them in the minutes.
Well,
Have
there-
we?
So
Yeah,
it just
we
occurred to
have.
me we had one abstention.
Oh.
So
There it is.
if we were being strict and rigid and compliant, we would say who the abstention was,
Okay.
or the descending vote, if that
I
were the
think it
case.
was me because I wasn't at the last meeting.
Well, we all knew that.
So it
Okay,
was
so I-
Fishman abstained?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But Fishman didn't abstain. Fishman
No,
didn't.
I abstained in the last meeting
meeting.
because I
Okay.
hadn't been in the meeting before that.
Right. Right. Right here. Okay.
So I don't think that's that big a deal for us, but just
Okay.
by the way.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Mr. Williamson. Board Member
If they
Williamson.
indicted Rick Perry, they can indict us for open meeting.
He's got arrested today
Did
He
he?
was arrested.
on 2 counts.
Yes.
Indicted.
No, arrested also.
Too bad, so
Arrested.
sad.
That's better.
All right.
Well,
Okay,
Cover also.
so where am I?
Treasurer's
We
report.
got the minutes approved. Did we take a vote on that? Yes, we did. Treasurer's report.
I don't think
Are
there's
you
a-
going to do that today?
I don't think, we think we did it last time and we haven't had a meeting since. Nothing to report.
John,
pardon?
is there any,
Yes, I got some weird pages in the middle of this.
would you like to see your treasurer's report?
Need a
Yeah.
stapler.
I think I read it.
Yeah, we're doing good. We've got plenty of money. I can say that we got our AT&T check and it jumped 1,000.
Wow.
But
good.
don't go to the bank with it yet until we see if it's just people who left Comcast and went to AT&T. So it can
Probably.
just shift. And I also transferred over $10,000 to our unrestricted account. I try to do that at the end of each fiscal year when we have a surplus. And we had $20,000 surplus, so 10,000 felt safe. Counting that we will have another check in the next.
Which is in which, you transferred it to which account?
It's in Summit.
Unrestricted.
We have 2 accounts in Summit. And if you,
The unrestricted account is
It got started when we sold the van, the trailer,
Okay,
and we had money that we spent
Right.
from capital expense. It came back to us. The city did not want to
Right.
so we created an account. But we created it as unrestricted, so we have liberty to use it as we see fit.
And that's not actually money that we use for our normal operations.
No, it's
Right.
kind of a reserve.
okay, but it still falls under the guidelines of board approval for purchases over, how much was it? 5,000? I can't remember what that dollar amount was.
Okay, I got the manual.
No, you can tell me
I'll
offline, I
figure
just
it out,
forgot.
yeah.
Okay.
So, that's in good shape. What else? Oh, I'll be watching for the Comcast check any day now, and I'll let you all know when it comes.
Did you close the loop with the person at City Hall you need to speak with regarding
No, I
these?
never connected. I'd love to have.
They just send it to you?
They just send it
Oh.
to me.
If they send it to you rapidly, that's okay too.
Quite often they wait till they have both, but this time I got one. And it's good to have a contact info. I don't know who to email if I have a question.
I do.
Okay. So the balance then is corrected. I mean, I took $10,000 out and put it in another account that jumped up. And we now have in our unrestricted account, we have 45,420, and in our city CapEx fund, we have 59,619 at last count.
That's the capital account?
Yeah. So we're sitting pretty with capital expense, and I'm thinking that all our fears of things going south on us in a bad way, we're never going to have too little capital expense. So I think we can afford to spend money now, which I have plans for. So that's
How
a
much
tidy
again
sum.
is in the capital account, John?
Capital account has 59. What's the last?
The other one was 45, I think, so.
Yeah. 59. Remember it again. Got too many papers. $59,619 in our capital expense fund with the city, and $45,420 in our unrestricted account. And the balance this morning was like $63,000 in our checking account.
Do we have we invested those funds in anything other than, like, non-paying savings account? Do we have an investment advisor for those funds, or should we?
Interesting question. I'd love to meet offline and talk to you about that. We
Yeah.
did have some not bonds, but we did have some high yield, but
There's
one
no-
with,
there's
right
no
now,
such thing
there's no
anymore.
such thing anymore. So,
I know that, I'm on another board, and they have a lot of money that comes in, and they have an investment committee, and it's separate from the finance committee. And, they don't make a huge amount of money, but some of the money, long-term money, is in stocks, and it might be something.
How much of it's in current liquid?
Most of the money's in current liquid.
So about 12 months worth of operating, current?
No, I don't think we have that much. I think we
6 months?
We might have 6 months of operating, and
So that 6 months is, but that's about six, that 100
that's
grand is about six.
About six, yeah. So, okay.
So by most standards, we don't have really enough to sink away up in the
Yeah,
longer term.
that's a good point.
Unless it was a really good deal.
If you find one, tell me about it.
Anything else on the treasurer's report that we need to discuss?
no, I don't think so.
Okay. Then moving right into the executive director's report. John?
Well, we have a new toy in the arsenal. It's called a Black Magic camera. It's a tiny little thing, does movies with exchangeable lenses. It's a pretty hot item, I guess. Not that expensive. People can change their lenses from their still camera, and we just got it in. We're going to be figuring out how it works and starting some training classes. And it's gotten a lot of promotion on the Facebook page. I think Max Bricky, if you remember Max, he's the one with the dyed hair, was doing city council for us.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming back. His workload has dropped at Starbucks, and he wants to come back. So that's one of the things I'm thinking of is in-house teachers, kind of a teacher's pool, without Zach here to do the trainings. We have had a drop in membership. Not membership. Well, actually, membership is dropping a bit, but users are not coming in a lot. That tends to be the case in the summer, but it got to a point where Mario was sitting here all day Saturday with nobody coming in. So we've changed to a temporary kind of experiment to make Saturdays by appointment. We use Saturdays for 6-hour classes. We've got a sign on the door. You probably saw that right now. If you want to come in on Saturday, you just make an appointment. Mario will be here. And this will fit into what I'm going to explain about the transition after Zach. We're kind of pulling in the wagons and getting things down to a core reality. One of the things we're thinking of doing, and Zach is already shopping around for computers, is reinforcing our internal network. My computer is freezing up in the middle of a Word doc, and this is in part with the City Hall. That's the next item. City Hall equipment has been there for 7 years, and we had some problems this in the last month. So Monday, Zach and Helder and Thomas are going to go over and do a kind of a top-to-bottom tour and start making notes for equipment that we need to replace. Electronics has an upgrade that might be quite useful for us. Every year we've talked about changing Electronics. Electronics is the server program that does our programming. So it takes the files and puts them out at a certain time and goes right to Comcast. I don't think we'll replace that. That's just too heavy. But we're not going to cheat ourselves with that $100,000 practically in capital money. We can afford to spend it now. So we're working on computers for the PCs. We'll change those out first, and then we'll look at the editing stations. For instance, the Blackmagic, the new camera, outputs a media file, either raw or condensed, and if it's raw, our computers can't handle it. So technology's already gone beyond the support we've got. And the City Hall equipment is probably, is more a higher priority because there's so much responsibility hinging on that. What we had, I have Peterson Electronics, electronics?
Mechanical.
Electric, or mechanic? Okay, Peterson over in Sonoma comes over once a year. They installed the air conditioning. We had a heat problem very early on when our servers moved in. They came in April, at the end of April, and within a week we had ice dropping out of it. So I don't know whether they did anything or what happened, but that ice, I called them up, they came back, they had a serviceman look at it. I called up to find out what the status was, and I was told that they were ordering a belt. And I called back again to see if the belt had come in. If it was fixed, I didn't get a response. Then Tim and Zach on the same day communicated to me that there was a lot more ice, and it was hot in there. And so then I tracked it down, and I found out that our unit doesn't have a belt, that they got confused about what unit they were responding to. So it got kind of funky. I did ask for a discount on the repair because, in a sense, that's why I have them come once a year, is to avoid that kind of emergency situation. And I think there was some fallout of it. The server that we use for accessing from remote froze up, and Zach thinks that could have been because of the rising heat. That gave us a couple of days where we didn't have access. We're back now in shape, but it's fragile in there. That's another reason we need to get in there and renew it, make it robust.
Do we have a regular yearly program in how to start replacing all these things? I mean, is there something that we set into our budget every year that says this amount of money can go to repairs or replacements?
Oh, we have a pretty large line item for equipment parts and repairs, but we don't have anything formalized that does an annual checkup. It's just that Tim and I were starting to talk about this before these problems came, so this is kind of proof that it's time to get it back. Also, you know, everything I'm going to talk about tonight is aiming at that 5-year renewal in November next year. We want to be solid and trim, a trim ship to get that, and especially if we get 2 other city meetings.
That's renewal from the city.
Yeah,
Do we have a current inventory sheet of all the equipment?
yeah, we do
Oh,
that.
good.
We do that for the.
Yeah, because that's how you can pretty much eyeball, you know, oh, this is kind of old, we need to start looking at.
We go through that each year with Torkelson, and we strike out some old stuff that's not there or broken, and it's all the stuff that depreciates is on that inventory list.
Yeah, but as far as replacement, as far as how you decide what you're going to replace.
I don't know if it's the kind of thing a stranger could walk in and find a list and know exactly where it is.
No,
It's pretty much
you
exact
and
same.
your staff, yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
And you know, Zach has a touch. You know, he
Yeah.
can look at a machine and he has a hunch, and he goes in and he fixes it, and bingo. Tim has an issue with that that's legitimate. Is that when the things are personalized in the solutions, a stranger can't walk in and fix it. So that's what we want to do now, is get it all in firm, clean,
We call that supportable.
supportable.
I make Tim happy.
Me too.
No.
Me too.
It's like I thought, nothing's going to ever make you happy.
Probably not.
I mean, the city hall stuff is a key function of this organization, and we have that capital account, and,
Yeah, we step on that pretty hard.
yeah.
You know, we just the tiniest thing, we react pretty fast.
Yeah.
But to replace things and make sure everything's up to date, and
No, this would be a
the
proactive
the city's
overhaul.
happy that this organization is taking care of business, makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay.
Okay, then I did touch base with Katati and Rohnert Park. I was kind of stymied in putting together the proposal because we were having issues here with our own coverage of the city and technical problems, and also we dropped the ball on 2 meetings, one worse than the other. I'll talk about that in the staff structure. But I spoke with Tammy at Katati, and they have a deadline. She'd like our proposal by September 2nd, which is right after the 3-day holiday. She's going off she's going off next week, so there's no rush there. She would like 2 separate proposals, one for installing the equipment and the other for operating it. They are accepting other bids, but I think we're on a pretty good track, so confident there. And the same with Rohnert Park. Dave said that he doesn't need the proposals till the end of next week, and even if we got it right away, the soonest we'd start would be October. So we'd have a good month to build our team. Rohnert Park is easy because the young man who does it also works for us. He's doing it for Santa Rosa now, and he says that he'd rather work for us.
I like those problems.
So Rohnert Park is solid. Katati's closer. That should be easier. And you know, when we get Zach is revising the equipment list. He's already put together an equipment list. We're doing a lot of good faith help right now. So that's on a strong track.
What sort of overhead rate do you use with those 2 bids? I mean, are we doing a fully loaded rate, or are we giving them a break in any way, or?
I'm not going to gouge them. That's part of the reason we got the call from Rohnert Park, is they were getting gouged. I don't know if I really want to talk about it in numbers right now, but I know San Rafael is doing it at about $60 an hour. We charge Petaluma $13.50.
It's saying somebody was C Media was going to raise Rohnert Park to 90, right?
Yeah. C Media, I think, was charging $55 an hour, but requiring 2 operators for Rohnert Park. And they just raised their rates till 90, which prompted the call to Tim, which prompted our visit. So we'll definitely stay within the 60, probably not over, maybe under. I will be giving a raise to the access assistants and really trying to strengthen that pool. It's easy when it's just across the street practically. We can always run over and back them up. So that, I'm excited about that, but I just wasn't able to focus on it in the last 2 weeks.
Our staffing will allow for us to do that?
We have a staff position called access assistants, and we have 3 people in that. We would have to add to that. Cassidy is leaving. We have Nick Johnston, we have Francisco Carabal, and Cassidy Komada. Cassidy's going off to college. I think her last school board is tonight. But Max Bricky is coming back. He's got more room, so he's coming back to do that. And Francisco has a brother. They live in Katati. He's young, which there's a problem. He can't work certain late meetings. So, but it's the kind of thing that if we got it, I would really want to strengthen our control and oversight of it, and I would post. I would go to Craigslist and look for.
Okay, we can discuss this more on the agenda item. Let's
Okay.
let's move past this.
Just the last 2 are kind of connected. I did my second lecture on the art of cinema. It was a full house. It was a success. We got another membership out of it. And I've been in conversation with the new executive director of the Arts Center, Val Richmond, and she invited us to present the lecture series there. She's got a gap, and they're gonna, instead of doing 6 exhibitions, they're gonna do 5, and that leaves November, December as an empty gallery. Which is, it's, they love having other people come in. Val sees it as an arts center, arts with an S. So this is kind of a window for her to see what she can do, new energy she can get into the space. The Palooza has used the space, but they were squeezed between 2 shows. I think they have 3 weeks between a show, and it's 1 week to come down, 1 week to go up. So there's only kind of a week where they can let other people in. So I'll be setting that up for November. Question is whether I go back and start with part 1 to part 2, or just jump to part 3 and part 4. I've already prepared part 3 and 4. This has been my summer art project. The paintings didn't get done, but I've been making these. You know how much fun it is to make a music CD? Well, I'm making them with clips from movies. So it's been a ball.
It was very good. Very, very impressed with your abilities and what you presented. And I think everybody that attended enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got that feeling
So
too.
if
We have
we have more-
non-GMO popcorn, and it's very informal. I'm not lecturing for notes. I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts of pieces of film that I've looked at maybe a dozen times, at least. Pieces I love or that have changed my life. So that's the director's report.
Great. All right, thank you for both the treasurer's report and the executive director's report. We appreciate that. Item 8 is the consent calendar, of which there are no items. Item 9, reports of committees. The only committee that met was the nominating committee, right? Outreach
Yeah,
and meet.
outreach.
While I wasn't looking, okay. So the nominating committee had a meeting this evening for this meeting, and I think Kathy's going to report out on that.
Well, I see
Please. Please.
that your name is on the nominating committee, so somehow we dropped the ball and didn't get you on there. We did have a meeting tonight. We met last Tuesday and met a gentleman by the name of Mark Jaramillo. And Cindy and John and I sort of interviewed him and talked with him, and we feel that he is a good fit for being nominated for the board. He's got some real interest in PCA and has done some videoing on his own, and
That's for Rachel.
it's
Yeah, you 3 haven't seen his,
so at this point, as the committee, that was one of our recommendations. The other recommendation is Neil Fishman. And,
Wouldn't go with them.
and then, I have volunteered to, be the 3rd nominee for, the board. So that pretty much,
well, I think in reality, you either self-nominate or you are nominated, and I wouldn't have any problem nominating you for,
Thank you.
And I wouldn't have
That
any
position.
problem second.
okay. So I think that that's the proper way, but I think we all understand what we're trying to accomplish here.
Sure, right. So that's pretty much, at this point, what the nominating committee has to bring to the board tonight. Which is
Okay.
pretty exciting, that we have 3 names that are willing to participate.
Yes, it's a promotion.
Yeah, the resume, which is based more on Mark's producer qualifications, didn't really speak to his what I feel is qualifications to be on the board. But after we talked with him, 3 of us, John, Kathy, and I talked with him, it was apparent that he could probably work out real nicely here.
And these are for the 3 open seats for 3-year elected seats. That does mean we don't have to stop looking for others that we can appoint. Actually, that was a problem we were running into, is that for a stranger who doesn't know how we operate, signing up for 3 years was a little daunting. So, come in as a 1-year appointment and then get the feel for the place.
Is there a campaign fund limit on the,
On the size of your signs. Well, at this point, there's 3 seats and 3 nominees. The only way you'd have a real neck-to-neck race is if somebody gets 10 signatures and comes on to challenge you, which I don't foresee. Because that same person could get an appointment just as easy. It was really, it just opens it up to the public. And that was in the announcement that was in the Argus last week, so.
Okay, well, I move that we accept the recommendations for the 3 candidates, Kathy, Neil, and Mark, as our endorsed candidates for the election. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstentions? You're gonna abstain?
They
Why?
didn't count it.
I'm on the, aren't I supposed to abstain? I'm on the thing.
Well, then you're not supporting Kathy and Mark.
I could do a counter, never mind.
No.
I'm
Well,
abstaining.
you could
It
go
still
one by
passes.
one.
Yeah.
It still passes.
And actually, it is on the agenda of new business, so we could have done it there. But if it's done, it's done.
Okay.
So are you abstaining or no?
I'll abstain.
Yes?
We're having trouble with
Yes.
Oh,
this
actually, I
tonight.
did go out of order on the,
Yeah. See, he tried to interrupt you
is that
by raising
okay?
his hand.
Is everybody okay that we just took care of
Absolutely.
11A?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just a working document.
It'll get you out of here earlier. Okay. I knew you'd like that. Okay, so the reports of committees is done. We have one item under old business, item 10A, discussion only of operational transition to new staff structure. John?
Okay, this has been chewing on me all a couple of weeks now. Actually, we knew that when Zach left that there was a transition to make. I just didn't have a clear sense of how to make that transition. We had also hired somebody the day before Zach left, so the situation changed drastically there. And I had just finished a activities plan for the city where I'd really identified something I'd always known, but it was never as articulated clearly for me, was that we really exist by the success of our performance for the city. That our service of that need of the city is what keeps them happy with us and keeps the game going. So as I look at the new staff structure, I'm also aware of the problems that I've been encountering in the last few weeks. And we were, if I were to have a car accident the experience of losing Zach is kind of a preview or a warm-up, and it will fall on you. So I'm really kind of digging deep to see how I can build that up so that there's more redundancy built into my position. There's no way I feel I could replace Zach in one person. You know, he kind of grew up, and we expanded to meet his talents, and we profited from that. Maybe even took advantage of it. But he delivered 3 key jobs. He was a technical specialist, he was a trainer mentor, and he was a station manager. And I don't think I can get one person to do it all. I don't think it would be possible because there's a learning curve as to how the place operates. Zach has been coming in, working anywhere from 4 to 10 hours a week. He comes in on Mondays regularly, checks in, but also stops by at his lunch breaks, and is very receptive. He tagged one of his emails with "Keep them coming," you know, because we send him emails about how do we do this, what do we do there. So he's very positive on that that base. So I talked to Adds Up, and we are going to shift his title to technical specialist, which is what Max Piepenbrink had a couple of years ago, if you remember. So we have.
Wait, Zach is gonna be technical
Yes,
specialist?
that's going to be the new
Contractor.
No, he's on staff. We're going to keep him on staff because then the keys are fine.
Okay.
He's got that. And
Yeah,
He wants
I'm just questioning it because I thought that his new employer prohibited him from being on
Next door.
just next door?
that was a very specific prohibition.
Okay,
Has to do with
never
Pixel.
mind.
Has to do
You
with
don't need-
Pixel, where they
I'm-
travel
I
the world.
understand now.
No, Zach is clear that he wants
Okay.
to keep working with us.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
I was sad when I thought that he couldn't be on the staff and
Yeah.
okay.
He wants to stay on staff. It's cleaner that way. He's working with me on Katati. He would be setting that up for them. He is going to take Thomas and Helder into City Hall and train them, or not train them, but show them how he created that setup, the configuration, so that in an emergency, Helder is an old employee who has offered to come in and help out if he needed him. Also, I got a
But
call.
Helder will be a consultant.
He'll be doing it for free.
Okay,
He loves PCA. That's really where it's
Okay.
coming from. And it was a call out of the blue.
Volunteer, okay.
Yeah, volunteer.
perfect.
He said if he needs front desk, he said, he's been a supporter. At least it's been up and down.
Nice.
Long story. But now I did get a call from a friend of Zach's who had talked to Zach, and I guess Zach had used him to help set up City Hall. I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember the guy, but he said he remembered me. He was calling up to see if there was an open position, or he was curious about the board. But I think at this point, he doesn't fit the kind of vision I'm trying to shape. I think he would be a contractor that would help Zach execute what Zach plans if Zach doesn't have the time to do it. That's a real good position because Zach can give him a couple directions that I don't understand, and Zach can double check his work. So I think we've solved the technical vulnerability we had with Zach's absence. So that leaves 2 other positions, or actually 1 other position. I'm thinking of calling it an administrative assistant or maybe an office manager. I haven't shaped that yet. That would be somebody who would work with me to make sure the accounting, the bills, the reports, the annual reports, all that administrative stuff is backed up by somebody who could take over if I couldn't do it. Also, we have an issue with maturity in the office right now, and kind of a grounding presence. And it turns out that we had passed over Chris Fisher in the hiring for the outreach director. I had called him in to see if he wanted to get on the board. He came in to talk to me on a Monday, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And I floated the opportunity that maybe there's another position open. He is interested. More in the job. He needs a job. that same day, I got a call from my wife. She had my wife works at a charter school, and there was a parent that was there that was a single mom going back to school to get her degree in administrative assistance, looking for part-time work. So that kind of helped me shape. I got kind of an image that I clung to as maybe that would be the key person to bring in right now. There are other issues.
Temporary?
No, I'm actually thinking of position.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
thinking back to when Rachel was here. We had a real solid base. Just somebody
I think
who's
you need somebody
who's
like that.
been out there, done a lot of the work, has shown immense responsibility in their own life, and can carry that in as kind of a daily
I think
touchstone.
having somebody like that you can rely on is something that I think is easier for you to take care of all the other things, because you're always worried about that, I think.
Yeah.
With some of the other assistants you've had or front office people.
There was a period where Kate was doing checks with me. I think, I got a glimpse of disintegration in the last 2 weeks. It's been really kind of a struggle. And I just want to protect you all from that. So I'm really kind of thinking hard about how to set it up. Maybe we might have to lose some of the high points right now, but I think I can really see that the center of gravity that Zach and I created, the others gravitated around that, kind of held everybody together. It's all falling to me right now. I'm not getting it from Thomas, and Mario and Tony aren't there yet either.
And now, a question regarding Zach. Do you have a backup since he's only going to be here 10 hours as a technical specialist? Are you looking at having somebody step in or train somebody so that it doesn't fall back on you all the time?
No, I think Zach can cover it. There's two
He still could cover
There's
it?
2 levels of technical support we need. Emergency support, immediate, and then the gradual upgrade and maintenance. And where I was most worried was the emergency, because if he's working down there and they're on the air, he can't run over to City Hall. So having
Right.
a
But you've
second,
got that covered?
I'm working on that. Helder and this other fellow that Zach sent over or recommended. But I have to touch base with Zach to really figure that one out.
So, bottom line, are we talking about increasing the budget for staffing?
No, that's what's quite interesting is I've been playing with that number. I'll pass this around. I didn't make copies, but this is kind of my work tools. I start by working with an hourly presence in the office, what people are doing. Then I break that into payroll, and then I take that to the budget. And right now, the SAC dropping from 35 hours or 34, I forget, down to 10. We've saved a lot of money. And I also...
Saturdays too, right?
We're
You'd be
trimming
saving
back
for-
Saturdays, but that was really follows into the fact that I did a 2-week session of staff reviews, an hour 1 week and a following up hour, and I cut back hours on everybody. We had a thing called flex hours, which were built in so that if you did a Butter and Eggs Day parade or had to go cover a City Hall, it was in the budget. And that was getting used for just being here. And I wanted to really crunch the hours down to exactly what we needed for those jobs. I mean, I can still authorize extra hours if there's a project that justifies it. If somebody wants to teach a class, then they would get extra hours for that. And we've been kind of juggling with transitions with staff members coming and going. We didn't replace Amy very quickly. We had a lot of money. We saved money there, and Mario stepped up and did a lot of that work with extra hours. So I've trimmed back the basic hours. I've also bolstered those who are staying. I bumped Zach up to $25 an hour from 20. And I got Thomas up to 19 and Mario to 14. And I will be bringing the access assistants up probably to 12. So, I really want the people who are here to be comfortable and solid, and then over time we'll be able to recover that center of gravity and expand outwards from that. There was another point I was making, but there's more of this that I'll take on in closed session. What the numbers I'm playing with now have, we approved a payroll budget line of $161,000, and now I've got $152,000. So it's come down. I've got room. And the other weak link we're having in Zach's disappearance is the mentoring. He was just a really an awesome teacher. He would train on the camera. It would go to 2 hours. He was really, you couldn't ask a dumb question. He was very patient. And we've had Dan Vilava coming in doing Final Cut Pro. And now with the Black Magic, it's quite possible that Max, our Access Assistant, will be teaching. So just like we're doing with Access Assistants, I want to build a pool of contracted teachers and build a structured kind of thing, as that once a month Zach will be at PCA in the evening on Monday, and he will be teaching a class. He was doing it by appointment, but it's very easy to just say, you want a class with Zach, the next one is going to be on this date, sign up and be there. So strengthening our teaching, getting a grip on our technical. What's missing then is the station manager job. And that's falling to me, and that's what I was doing before Zach took it on. And Zach was really kind of working into it. That was the new element when he went full-time, was he was going to do that. And he was sitting at the front out there, and he was able to monitor Mario and keep him on track. And we had a city meeting where it just fell off the radar, and we didn't have anybody there. And I'm sure that if Zach had been there, up in the front room and asked Mario on Monday, how's all the meetings looking this week, which he did every week, he would have caught it. So there was distraction and lack of that centering. Mario's doing fabulous work. I've got this exchange he had based on this. So we got an email from Stephanie at City Hall saying, I was working on the minutes for the August 7 meeting, and the tag on the bottom is wrong. It says Parks and Rec, and it should be the Transit Advisory Committee. Okay, well, that was a situation where Francisco was doing it, his car broke down. So he calls Mario. Mario jumps, he calls everybody, nobody can do it. So he runs over and he does it. But he gets there too late and he doesn't know how to change the caption. So he didn't change the caption. So he writes back, hello Stephanie, I hope you had a great weekend. Yes, we are working on getting a correct copy of the meeting for your records. We will bring it in as soon as it is ready. Sorry for the inconvenience. And she wrote back with 8 minutes later, thank you so much. I appreciate you getting back to me so quickly. So Mario is doing a good job. It's just that the chaos around him kind of got out of hand.
So this was a committee meeting we were supposed to film, or was it a city council?
No, it was a
Transit.
transit park. Well, it says parks. It was a transit advisory. It had the wrong lower third. And that's a protocol that we've been working on with the city. We've got it set up now so the city can go in an emergency and get the cameras running, but the camera wasn't.
If they tell us.
Yeah, that's internal to you. But
Yeah.
for us, it's a backup for this kind of emergency. But the cameras weren't working, and that was part of the technical problem that may have gone all the way back to the air conditioning problem. So we need
So we didn't film it at all? So,
No, we filmed it. We filmed it. But we just had the wrong title under it for the first 3 minutes, maybe. Then Mario was able to get it off, because it's better to have nothing than to have the wrong one.
But I thought we didn't film the one meeting,
There was a planning commission
that we did
we
not
didn't
film.
film.
That's what
And that
Neil's
was-
asking about,
yeah,
I think.
That was different. The city was not able to get the camera, but they got audio, and we are going to repair that with a title and a picture of city council, or the city council chambers.
And what were the circumstances under which we missed that one?
Mario says that it was filed into a Gmail folder that he doesn't usually look for. That's I don't know if it was spam. I didn't dig deep into it. I moved on the get in touch with City Hall right away, tell them we're going to fix it as best we can. And I don't have the exact answer on how that fell through. But again, it's part
Well,
of
if you don't have the answer, then how are you going to have a remedy so that it doesn't happen again? I think you need to find out what the root cause was, and then figure out how you're going to avoid that next time. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but that's
I
what
appreciate
I
that.
would do.
Yeah. I'll do that then.
Yeah.
You know, the idea that it went into spam, that's kind of like the dog ate the homework, so it needs to be looked into. But again, it's concentration. There was a moment, I mean, it was that week where Mario got to buy some equipment, which is Zach's job, so he was excited about that. And he's young, so it's kind of grounding that excitement, not because I think he's doing a marvelous job. And this is the first slip up we've had at City Hall in maybe 3 years. It's been cruising.
long time.
Frankly, I'm shocked that we're not perfect.
It's a learning experience.
He's tougher than I am.
Yeah.
No, it's things
Tougher than me.
things do happen.
So I'll probably recycle a lot of this in closed session.
Okay.
That was 10A.
Yeah, it was only discussion, just filling you in on the thought process I'm going through.
Okay. Perfect.
Well, there's one more point I could say. Kind of the defining factor comes out of the activities plan is that, and especially if we take on Catadia Lunar Park, that becomes more of a defining factor. Before, you know, we did the city, that was kind of understood. We concentrated on the members. I think as the structure I'm envisioning rebuilding is going to be a very professional service organization to serve those needs, a top priority. That is a revenue stream. You know, Tim and I have been talking about contingency plans if we lost our funding stream. That's the worst case scenario solution, is we drop back to just delivering that service and we'd stay alive on the basis of that in a reduced form, but we'd still stay alive. That's the bottom line. So that's kind of the ruler I'm using to measure my options as I try to put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Yeah, we feel your pain. Okay, is that it?
That's it.
Okay, so that was 10A. New business, we already did 11A, which was the election candidates. 11B is discussion and possible action on Petaluma Business Expo, and that's Marcia's item.
Well, Onita has offered PCA a free table at the Business Expo, which takes place on the 2nd of October. If we'd like to come and possibly film at the expo and just be present there with the cameras and stuff like that, so that and maybe broadcast some of that.
What is the Business Expo?
It's mostly a networking kind of it's like a trade show, only it's for networking between the community and local businesses or business to business. And for our purposes, it would be a great way to network with some of the businesses and tell them about the business sponsorship and that kind of thing. And it would be to their benefit because they could maybe see their business being broadcast on local television. Or increase their community outreach. So there's a charge to non-chamber members, well, even to chamber members, for the space at the Business Expo. And what she's offering is for it free to us if we want to come and do that. But I don't know if the board thinks it's worthwhile, if it's too soon,
What day is that?
it's October the 2nd, I don't know what day it is. I'll have to
It's a
look at my
Thursday, I
calendar.
just looked it up.
They're always Thursdays.
Yeah.
Thursday.
In the evening or during the day?
No, it's during the day. I think it's like 4 to 7 or something.
We have in the past taken crews over and roamed around and filmed it, put together a show on it.
If you wanted to put together like some kind of a packet where somebody could roam around and film, somebody else could stand at a table and hand out business sponsorship information.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
having a table is kind of nice.
I think especially if we're going to be campaigning for sponsorships, and I think it's nice that we should be there.
Yeah, that's
Do
the
we-
chamber reaching out with a free advertising opportunity.
Do we have enough materials?
Oh yeah, we have a table and kit, basically. It can always be improved and personalized for each event.
And we have good literature on the business sponsorship and all of that.
That's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Seems
here
like a
that
good
week.
idea. Who would do it?
Yeah, it'd be great if board representation, because that would be those are your peers in a sense, more than.
Where's it going to be?
It's usually
It's at the community center.
Lucchese.
Yeah.
Is anyone interested? I'm out of town that week, so I can't.
I could do it.
I could do it.
I can do it a little late after 4, a little after 4.
Between quarter to 6 and quarter after 6.
No, it's Petaluma people. You meet a lot of people you already know.
I think the more we can do those types of things,
Yeah.
the better we are,
I think so.
especially if it's free.
So I'll go back and tell her that we're
Yeah, we're
definitely
in.
interested. Okay.
What is the date again?
The second.
October 2nd.
Thursday, October 2nd.
It's probably in the posted somewhere, right? I could look it up for to send it. Or maybe you could just let us know that.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'll send you a
Okay. You'll send us
email
all.
that has
Okay,
all
so we
the.
can calendar.
We
Yeah.
are chamber members, and Cindy gets emails that she forwards out.
Yes.
They've stopped coming to me, so keep
Maybe we
forwarding.
could-
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Because
didn't-
when you told me that you were getting them and that mine were duplicates, I took you off.
That's
I don't know
okay,
if he
because,
has a
well, I
banner
mean, that's
to
okay,
put
because a
on
lot
the
of them I don't need
table
to
or-
see. But the one that you just sent me about the ad, that was good, and I got it. I got it as an
Yeah,
ad.
keep sending them, because I've gone to a couple of mixers.
John, is there any way I could get the cards? We had talked about getting cards. I don't know if everybody has some, but could we get cards before then?
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be good to have.
Perfect.
And maybe,
Is that it, Marcia?
Yes,
we
that's
could
it.
come in and kind of see what you have and what we can put
Yes,
together.
definitely.
We'll work out something. Rachel and I can do that.
Yeah, we'll
And
do it too, I
Neil.
think, yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
The tag team.
Here's the, if I can just pass it around, there's kind of the idea of the ad that we'll put in the, it's an annual chamber, is it,
Oh, you decided to go ahead and do it?
yeah,
Like the new
Oh,
logo or what?
because
Signed
they
up.
extended the deadline.
I extended the deadline, I
Yeah.
knew that was perfect, I had the time, I got in under the deadline for submitting the artwork is Friday.
So is that the directory that
Yeah,
you're?
the directory. And I pieced that together from contributions from Kate, Zach, and Mario.
Nice. I like it.
The one on the left is the actual size.
Have we ever filmed this business expo or made any sort of
Yeah,
like
we
an
did.
archive of it?
I would have to dig back and see where it is, because that was a couple of years ago.
Do you think there's anything interesting enough about it where you could film it and actually put it on the tube?
They're part of a great team with great mission.
Would anybody watch a bunch of businessmen talking about their businesses?
The businessman
There's a
would.
word missing.
No, it's more, they see us with our cameras. That's why we were doing it. It's visibility, promotion almost. And I was using it to train some interns. So I took some interns over with a couple cameras and had them roam around and do some
that looks
You
interviews.
could make a 10 or 15-minute fill out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, we could, not make it provocative, but we could ask set questions. I mean, what does your business do, and what's your vision for Petaluma, and, where are you
And
from?
you could make it longer, yeah.
yeah.
Do
Or
we
you could
have-
just go
do we
randomly
have interns
around
now?
and, film the
We
booths
do.
and maybe get some
We have some,
comments
we
from
have some
people.
assets we call on often.
That's
not-
okay.
But I like the
Doesn't
idea,
have
maybe
to be formal.
you could be asking the
it
questions.
might be
We could
better
Ring
than
you up
formal.
and create a little roving team.
We got a cameraman to
Yeah,
do it?
we can get a camera, that's,
That'd be
It-
fun.
It's
what we
it
do.
could- It could be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
oh, I like this, we got a team.
Nice. Okay. 11C, discussion and possible action on a proposal to contract with Roanoke Park and Cotati City of Roanoke Park and City of Cotati to provide meeting coverage, right?
Yeah, actually, I
Is that-
gave you all that, my director's report. I talked to Tammy and Dave and squared away. That was wearing me out because I was worried about it while I was dealing with other stuff. But we've still got a 10-day grace period.
What action is required?
Yeah.
Authorizing you to make a proposal, or?
I make a proposal that we will undertake the responsibility of delivering city meeting coverage for those two cities at a reasonable rate. There will be profit involved. It is expanding for another revenue stream.
Close by.
We're doing it well, so it's an expansion of our existing footprint. And
I mean, we will pay for all our expenses, our overhead,
Yeah.
our loaded rate.
I had done a pretty extensive price breakdown because all of this kind of grew out of we responded to an RFP in Nevada. And I had put together, I factored in workers' comp, I factored in mileage, because driving back and forth, training periods, staff time and all that. But I gave them a kind of a global monthly fee. I didn't break it down into hours. But I think it would be smarter to do it in hours. I think the cities would like that better. And for the installation at Katati, as I understand it, they don't need council approval. They have the budget, they have plenty of capital expenses, and so the city manager, the assistant city manager could authorize us to install for them.
Well, I'll move that we authorize the executive
second.
director to enter into agreements,
Okay.
provided that our expenses are covered, and he's confident that he has the staff to pull it off.
Okay.
That's the key.
Did you get that, Marcia, Fishman, and Rivas? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Anyone opposed? Abstentions? Okay. The last order of business is under a closed session, so we're going to adjourn now into closed session, and thank you, public, for being with us.
I'll turn off the camera.
Make sure you turn the camera off, not just the display.
How do I turn it off? These new cameras.